Hi, gang. It's Kale.
And Patrick.
Coming up on today's episode, we introduce a brand new segment where we discuss our Disney hot takes. As always, we discuss the latest Disney news, and we close out the show with some quick D. All that and more on today's episode of Gays Do the D.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Patrick, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't enjoy hurting anybody. I don't like guns or bombs or electric chairs, but sometimes people just won't listen, and so I have to use persuasion and slides. My parents, Sharon and Dave, generous, doting, or were they? All I ever wanted was a ballerina Barbie in her pretty pink tutu. My birthday, I was 10, and do you know what they got me? Malibu Barbie. That's not what I wanted. That's not who I was. I was a ballerina. Graceful, delicate. They had to go. My first husband, the heart surgeon, all day long. Coronaries, transplants. Sorry about dinner, Deb. The Pope has a cold. Husband number 2, the senator. He loved his state.
Oh boy.
He loved his country. Sorry, Debbie, no Mercedes this year. We have to set an example. Oh yeah? Set this. My latest husband. My late husband, Fester, and his adorable family. You took me in, you accepted me, but did any of you love me? I mean, really love me? So I killed, so I maimed, so I destroyed one innocent life after another. Aren't I a human being? Don't I yearn and ache and shop? Don't I deserve love and jewelry? Goodbye, everybody. Wish me luck. Kazuki!
Do you need more attention, or is that enough? That's a good amount of attention for you right at the top.
When I typically okay, do mine. Sorry.
Well, first of all, that is from Addams Family Values, yes?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
I'm very wise.
Yes.
I'm very wise. Kale, this is very appropriate. Kale, page 6, English.
Very nice. So typically, whenever I find a monologue to put in your name, I have to trim it down significantly.
Didn't feel the need this time. Didn't feel one need.
You're absolutely correct. And I when I was trying to like get rid of pieces, I was like, no, he's getting the full Monty.
And you went to school for journalism and couldn't figure out how to edit. That's interesting.
This is correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
But we are citing it correctly with me saying it and then you saying it's from Addams Family Values.
It's true.
So
it's true.
We can't get sued.
Well, we probably still can. But here we are. No one's listening.
Here we are. How are you, Patrick?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. You know, I begged and begged for spring to come and for the winter to go away, and now all I have are seasonal allergies. And so,
oh my gosh,
the headaches are real, my friend.
Listen, you are not kidding. I woke up one day last week and truly thought, like, did I sleepwalk and hit my head?
Yeah.
Like, did I fall down the stairs?
Very
like,
that.
How, being completely serious, if there was like surveillance footage of me asleep falling down the stairs, it would be the most hilarious thing.
It'd probably be the most often thing that happens on that camera.
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Completely.
So that's going on. But you know what? That's fine. I'm in a good place. Mental health is good right now.
And you just did some racing.
I did. We'll get to that in a second. But how are you first and foremost?
So I'm doing good. I know that I mentioned this on the podcast the last time I was on, which weirdly it feels like it's been forever since it's been my episode again. I don't know why. I guess nobody's been taking time off and I've had to cover for them again. But whatever.
Wow.
But JK. But I sort of alluded to this last time that I was in a little bit of a, not necessarily a dark place, but I could definitely feel myself sort of falling into a depression. Well, shortly after that last episode, as you know, I called you you and I talked almost on a daily basis. It got a little rough there for a minute. And,
sure.
and, I called my doctor and called, my therapist, had some, sessions outside of our typical routine and, took all the right steps. And I'm I can see a silver lining. I can see the sun coming out. You know?
Yeah.
It feels good. And I just just for full transparency, I like that we're really transparent about mental health on the podcast. And so yes. So if you were looking for me, I was down in that spiral, guys.
Listen, we're real people. We pump gas just like everybody else. We get sad.
I absolutely do not. I will drive
That's
the car
true.
until it is empty. That is my least favorite thing in the whole world to do.
I spoke too soon. I forgot that you have
that
no
and
hands.
grocery shop.
No hands.
I hate grocery shopping.
But this is actually a good segue into, because we're recording this on May 1st, which is
right.
the kickoff to Mental Health Awareness Month.
That's right.
Something we talk about, and I don't want to use the word celebrate. Well, you know what? We can celebrate mental health.
We celebrate, advocate,
all year round.
Yes,
Yeah.
promote, everything.
Absolutely. So you should always be doing this, but specifically right now, take a moment, all of you tweeters out there, and check in with yourselves, check in with your friends, but more importantly, check in with where you are right now. To quote, what is it, Frozen 2, you feel what you feel and your feelings are real. Take it in. Take some time for you, some mental health awareness for yourself, and reach out if you are like Kale was, feeling a little bit in a dark place.
Absolutely.
It happens, but it doesn't have to happen all the time. So get some help if you need it.
Yes. I'm glad that you quoted Frozen 2.
We are
and
a
to
Disney
quote
podcast.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. Yes, yeah. Fonda ain't got the motor in the back of her Honda.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
We can move on. We
Great.
can move on.
I'd appreciate that. So, well, not only is it Mental Health Awareness Month, but May is also Asian American and Pacific Islander
right.
Heritage Month. Again, as I always say, we celebrate our AAPI family all year round, but specifically the rest of the country is catching up with us, Kale. It's catching up with Gays to the D and celebrating our AAPI family in the month of May. So, interestingly, I'm a nerd and I like to research things. I didn't realize that this started way back in 1979, but only as a week-long celebration. And it wasn't until 1992 that it turned into the entire month of May. And wait for it, George H.W. Bush was the one who designated the month of May Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
So all of that is super, super, super interesting. I also did not know that. Also, it is sort of shocking about Bush Sr. However, famously, he wasn't necessarily a horrible person, just very dumb.
Listen, think what you want to think. Opinions are out there. We can move on from that. But celebrate, everybody, your AAPI brothers and sisters and family members, and reach out to us. Let us know who you're celebrating this month of May. It's so easy for us, I think, on a Disney podcast to be like, go and watch Sandra Oh movies and go watch Mulan and blah, blah, blah. And yes, do that. Do that all the time. But there are so many AAPI community members out there who have contributed greatly to this country and to the world.
Absolutely.
Please go and celebrate them all year round.
Yes, Disney or not.
Exactly. Very much that. Very much that. What else? What else do we have, Kale? We have a lot to get through today.
We do have a lot to get through. We need to get this out of the way because I've seen that it has been a huge topic of convo on the Instagram.
Oh my stars.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Mufasa film?
I have indeed. It was...
All right.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You seem to have a lot of opinions.
I have a lot to say today. It's true. It's very true. I was actually, I said this about the original, how are we using this term? The first live action version of a Lion King movie.
Sure.
And I was impressed by the trailer. Absolutely. It looks incredible. And it's going to be visually stunning. I have no doubts about that. So I'm reserving my opinions for what the movie is actually about and the substance of the movie until after I see it, because we've been down this road before and tricked before by a Lion King movie.
Yeah, completely. I will say this. I actually came to a super weird realization watching the trailer for this.
Sure.
But first of all, before I get into that, I will say the visuals of this film do look better to me than the 2019? Is that how long ago the live action was?
Yeah.
goodness gracious. but they do look a little bit better than the visuals in that film, which still were great. They weren't they weren't enough to really break ground on what the original Lion King was, right?
Yeah.
But it does look, the animation and sort of CGI effects, it does look better than that. Here's what I figured out. Do you know how we've always talked about how I'm not a huge Marvel fan?
Yes, we have.
I realized that. I realized why when watching this trailer. I think it's really hard for me to connect with something when all I see in the trailer is backing narration, and it's just things jumping and things on fire and things blowing up, and there's no context of a story. Do you get what I'm saying? And that to me is like every trailer for a Marvel film. It's always like someone jumping off of a building, and then in the background it's somebody saying something really inspirational. Like it's someone jumping off a building and they're trying to make it onto the next building, and then you hear a voice in the background going, "They chose you," or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of, I realized that, I think, because it seemed like a Marvel movie trailer. Like it was like, this is not the Lion King. And also, how many times are we going to use Circle of Life?
I think they're just using that in the background because it is all original music by Lin-Manuel Miranda this time around.
Ooh.
So I think they're just using that to like draw you in of like, clearly this is a Lion King movie, just in case you weren't aware of it. This is not National Geographic. This is a Lion King movie. Yeah,
that's right. That's fair.
And it's just a trailer. Like they didn't give us any story, really and truly, other than it's the origin story of Mufasa. That's all we know so far. So it's hard to really judge it right now.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, and I guess like the second I said it, it's sort of like, I actually think that Circle of Life does slap. I think we could use it as many times as we wanted to.
It is a good song. It is a good song. I am, speaking of Lin-Manuel Miranda, I am happy to see that they are using a cast of color, a director of color, a musician of color. Like for a movie
Very
that's the Lion King, I think they learned their lesson that we need people of color to tell a story about Africa. So well done.
Absolutely, I will agree.
And Barry Jenkins at the helm directing it. Boy, is he amazing. He
know.
directed Moonlight. If Beale Street Could Talk, he's an incredible director and writer. And Linda Wolverton is the head writer on this movie as well. And she's incredible. Beauty and the Beast, the original Lion King. Like it's going to be an all-star cast and crew. But again, we've been tricked before. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes, but stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And it does drop in theaters this December 20th. Patrick. Yes, Kale.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you, kind sir.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Mother's Day sneaks up on me every single year.
Same.
It is a trick because like St. Patrick's Day happened, Easter happens, and then I feel like we're in the clear until summer. But nope, Mother's Day is there. And thank goodness we should be celebrating all of our mothers and those who identify as mothers. But
yes.
But boy, I am behind the ball on that one.
Same, always, every time.
So happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers out there.
Yes. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
So are you ready to get into my favorite segment in the entire world?
What's that?
I'm celebrating.
Aw. Wow. You're getting better at that, Kale.
I've been practicing.
I'm
legit.
very happy with you. Very happy with you. Do you want to kick us off?
I will absolutely kick us off.
Great.
At KDevo11, I was awarded the Elementary Music Educator of the Year in my district at our annual banquet, 7th largest school district in the nation, over 200 elementary music teachers alone.
Amazing.
That's incredible.
Amazing.
Yes.
Sorry, all the other Tweedles out there, because this is amazing.
Yeah, KDevo won.
So, yeah, he rose the bar, and anything else is just a disappointment, really.
Yes, congrats, KDevo.
Congratulations. Just kidding. You're all amazing human beings, especially everyone else that we're about to talk about, including at Paging Mr. Olives, who's celebrating our back catalog, apparently on GDTD. He says, I've got a lot to catch up on. Oh boy, skip ahead, my friend.
Yeah.
Skip far ahead.
If any of them say Adam, you can... I'm just kidding. He's not listening.
Wow.
At Drew.jpg, another week under Nymphia's reign. Yes.
Ooh.
Okay. So let's talk about this. So
Okay,
she
for
was
1 minute.
1 minute. She was my favorite from the get-go, but I did
Yes.
not think she was going to win.
Same. Absolutely
Really?
same. I wanted so hard for her to win,
Same.
and I was rooting for her every single episode, and every time she walked on the runway, I was like, well, you're my winner, for sure.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you took too much time.
Well, I mean, speaking of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, come on,
Yes.
Nymphia.
Come on, Nymphia.
You better. All right, moving on to at PJW_@_WDW, celebrating a fantastic birthday celebration, visiting NYC for the first time. Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday. And NYC is my favorite place. Please tell me how much you love it. Tell me everything that you do.
Yes, where did you stay? What did you see? What did you eat?
Yes, send us pictures.
I mean, come on,
Y'all
folks.
never send us pictures.
It's true. It's true.
At ADV Parker, starting the field work for my master's and getting to play with birds in the woods all day.
We need more information.
His master's is Snow White.
Is this a euphemism? I need more information.
No, that's amazing on your master's. I think about going back for mine all the time and then remember that I really love sleep and alcohol.
Wow. Fair enough. Fair enough. Moving on, we have at and Evens RX celebrating meeting my boyfriend's parents for the first time. Ooh. How did that go? Spill the tea.
Sounds like things are getting pretty serious.
Mm-hmm. Is he still your boyfriend after
Is
meeting
he
you for the first time?
right? Yeah. Yes. Let us know how that goes. Also, send pictures. I'm just kidding.
Nope.
No. At Steve Chu, who is a regular, always amazing, always submits the funnest stuff. We love celebrating with him.
Yes.
Moving to a new place and a quieter neighborhood, closer to my job, friends, life. Come visit. All right, we are on our way.
As soon as you send the address.
That's right.
Come visit where, my friends? Come on.
Where'd you move to?
Where a Chu are you a Chu? Where in the world is Steve a Chu? I don't know where that came from.
We stopped it abruptly.
We sure did. Moving on, we have at Hibdande, another Tweedle, another Patreon member of ours, celebrating seeing JT perform at the Nashville Symphony on May 7th. Amazing.
Yay!
You're the one.
It's you. You bought the ticket. Yes.
You'll be so glad.
Send pictures.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. And video and voice memos, all of it.
That's right. At Denko Direct, successful spring choral concert with my young musical Padawans.
Aw, I love that. Well
Same.
done. I can't imagine directing musicals to high school students. No, thank
absolutely
you.
not. No, absolutely not. When I think about me as a high school student, I need to write some apology letters, actually.
At Denko Direct is my AAPI Hero of the Month. Well done to you.
Oh, same. You took mine.
Fair. All right, moving on. What do we have next? Before we get into your second favorite section of the show, listener feedback,
yes.
Kale, we have, let's see, where are we? Oh, we want to thank, speaking of we're celebrating, we want to thank all of our Tweedles and Patreon members for coming to the April Happiest Hour on Zoom. What fun we had.
We have so much fun.
I love them. And we had a special guest, Vincent, from the Camp Kaiju Monster podcast as our special guest. A joy. And at which we announced to our Patreon members first, so they got to hear the information first and give us some feedback. And it was a lovely conversation. But we are going to be doing some a side project on Gaze to the D and on Camp Kaiju, where we're going to throw the two podcasts at each other quarterly and release I guess we're sort of tentatively calling it Magic and Monsters right now.
I like that.
Thank you so much. Where we're going to explore
Tragic magic.
I like that too. We're going to explore movies that have to do with Disney and monsters at the same time. And it's the entire Disney catalog. So think Hollywood Pictures, think Touchstone Pictures, think, obviously Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, anything that has to do with monsters and Disney, we are going to cover on this likely quarterly basis. So stay tuned for that, everybody.
It'll be exciting.
Very exciting.
And you've collabed with them before, right? There was a really awesome episode you did with them over Luca, right?
We did, we reviewed Luca on their podcast, the Camp Kaiju podcast, and then he came over here and we reviewed 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea together.
Very, very nice.
Super fun. Loved it.
So Now we need to get into a little bit of listener feedback, which I just need to say never happens on episodes that I am on.
It's true, because no one has any notes when you're on an episode.
There are no notes. No notes. Okay, email from our Tweedle and Patreon member, Luca, his response to a review of Strange World. I recently got back with a trip with friends, kind of for my birthday, but mainly spring break, and we did 3 days of Disneyland. So many thoughts, but in short, I loved it and can't wait to go back. Also, recently went to the Disney 100 exhibition in Chicago, which was amazing. So much info, great photo ops, and just a really cool space. Highly recommend going if you're near the next location. Speaking of my birthday, I went to see Luca in theaters with my boyfriend, which was very special. Your boyfriend got Luca to the second power. As for feedback for Strange World, overall, I really loved this movie. It definitely reminded me of Treasure Planet and Atlantis, two very underrated films. I went off script for a second. In a lot of ways, including how Disney treated it. I agree that the world slept on it, but Disney barely promoted it. They made it and then basically canned it by not running advertisements until it was in theaters. Anyway, I love the story, the characters, though I do agree that none are going to be my favorite Disney character, the world building. I agree on some points and disagree very much with others. Ooh. First off, the environmental theming of the movie not being strong enough, I completely disagree. I think putting it in the card game that Ethan and his friends play was really clever and showed a new evolution of how the people of each generation viewed and interacted with the world. Jaeger was discovering, Searcher was agriculture, and Ethan and his friends are research and informed environmental practices. Not to mention, not to spoil, but if the ending didn't have an environmental message, I'm not sure what else they could have done. The comments about the SEA or other Easter eggs and the world in general, personally, I was pretty prepared to view this movie taking place in a world completely different from ours. Different timeline, sequence of events, etc. So I was able to jump into the plot and worry only about the elements of the world that the movie told us about. Is it a little sad that what helped me get there was how queerness was just a part of the world? Yes. Do I want to explore the history of settling more? Absolutely. But I wasn't exactly missing it, especially for everyone else that this movie did. Queer being in the world, I was definitely one of the people who was disappointed that there was no discussion or argument around sexuality initially. But looking back, I like how in this reality, queerness and race are just a part of society, and homophobia, even from Jaeger, would have been out of place. It was barely a plot point, yet they made a point to cover it so overtly. The scales for diversity and inclusion, on point, couldn't agree more. 2.5 out of 5 seemed harsh, but that's just me. I'd probably do 3.5 out of 4 territory. I will watch it again, but it's probably not going to be my go-to, and that's okay. I still really enjoyed it and wish that Disney would have given it a fair chance. This is a bit of a book, but I had to say it. Haha. I hope you're doing well, and I can absolutely relate to the defrosting of the Midwest weather, though. I'm a bit tired of the false springs. See ya, Luca. P.S. Maybe a voice memo would have been faster, but I don't have a fun English accent.
Don't compare yourself to Andy
Heath Puppeteer.
I happen to know that you have a lovely voice, Luca.
You do. We missed you at Happy Hour, but we look forward to seeing you too.
We sure do. A lot of great points. I love when our Tweedles disagree with us and maybe throw some shade at us a little bit.
They're not shade. This is a scholarly article. This is a This is.
It's true.
This was a deep dive.
It's true. This is just a case in point of why I do think people should watch this movie, because it is. I'm still torn on it of whether or not I loved it or liked it, or I don't know. There's just a lot to take out of this movie, and I think everyone should go watch it and form their own opinions.
I will completely agree with that. I've only seen it once, watched it all the way through. I did enjoy it. I've never actively wanted to put it on again.
Sure.
Which is the film Luca. I have a necklace on right now that says Silenzio Bruno. For some reason, Luca just resonated with me. And this is not one that I think I necessarily have to sit down and rewatch or watch again. But these are a lot of good points. I would actually say you writing in sort of makes me want to rewatch it and sort of evaluate a lot of this stuff.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And this will lead into, we have one more to get through. We're going to briefly discuss my trip at Run Disney this past weekend. Yes. But this will lead into that a little bit. As actually this next listener feedback, it is from at Jankowski Nick saying, "Hi gang, just finished the Questions in Peter Panthers episode on travel, and I couldn't agree more. Coming off of the springtime surprise weekend, the trip as a whole was wonderful, but the highlights were the moments shared with friends. Having dinner at Topolino's with Patrick, Justin, and Jack, sharing a post-race pineapple cider in Epcot parking lot, and feeling carefree. With the world as busy and messed up as it often seems, there's something truly special about being able to escape to a place you love with people you love and just share in the magical moments." Oh, I love that.
I do too.
Nick goes on to say, "Patrick and JT both mentioned that big trip for the 50th celebration where our circles of friends all converged at Abracadabar. That is for sure a core memory for me too. I may not remember the specifics of our conversations after a couple of magic mirrors and Pepper's ghosts, but I clearly remember being absolutely happy and content in that magic. That trip stands out for me because after losing my dad in 2019 and then what we all went through during the pandemic, I hadn't felt that carefree for a long time. I guess the real secret to planning the perfect Disney travel is making sure that you experience it all with the people you love." What a lovely sentiment. Well done.
That is. Yes, I wasn't there.
And that is what made it magic.
Yep.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Both
yes,
you,
thank you
Luca,
so much.
And Nick, which again, like I said, this is going to bleed right into my recent trip to Walt Disney World for the 2024 Run Disney Springtime Surprise. I promise this is not going to be an episode about that. I just wanted to recap it a little bit for everybody.
Do it.
So as I said, I just got back from the 2024 Run Disney Springtime Surprise weekend. I was there doing the Springtime Surprise Challenge, which is the 5K, the 10K, and the 10 mile.
Yeah.
I did that with my friends Justin and Jack and Nick, who just wrote in, Jankowski Nick, and a new friend, Angela, who was also from Canada, friends with Nick. Hello, everyone. Had a wonderful time.
Hello, Angela from Canada.
Hi. Let's see, some highlights. So for the first time, I stayed at Port Orleans Riverside. Have you ever been there before?
I have not, but I've always wanted to stay.
Absolutely beautiful. I recommend it highly. I mean, it can be a little bit on the pricier side. Sometimes it wasn't that bad this time around. That's why we chose it. Just beautiful. Nice. Highly recommend. Super quiet. Lots to explore, but it's not overwhelming.
Right.
They have some wonderful pools. I dipped my feet in a pool at Disney for the very first time, Kale. Are you proud of me?
You've never done it before? You've never gone swimming at a pool?
You will not catch me in a pool. No.
Is this an actual thing?
Yeah, I'm just not it's not my jam going into
Interesting.
Pools. Yeah.
I mean, I don't crave it. I'm not like a swimming fool, but but that's interesting.
Yeah. So listen,
I hate feet in the bed.
And that's all.
Keep going. Yeah.
That's a weird thing. Whoa. Okay, great. And of course, we tried their beignets, which are so delicious. I mean, people are like, try them. And I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that every time I've ever gone, but I've never tried them.
Incredible. The best because they make them fresh.
Nice.
And they're amazing. Let's see. What else? So the races were great. I have to say, my opinion on the theming this time around was sort of adventure is out there was the overall theme, but
sure.
Stitch was the draw because the challenge medal was a Stitch medal, but Stitch was kind of nowhere to be seen on the races other than there were some character spots with Stitch because the 5K was Neverland themed, the 10K was Up themed, and then the 10 mile was Lion King, but Stitch wasn't a theme of any of the races other than the challenge medal. So it was very confusing. I didn't understand it.
I feel like they stick Stitch somewhere when they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then
which is weird
they know
because
everybody's going to go
a big
Stitch.
Draw.
Yeah.
A fan favorite. So we sort of brought our own Stitch theme to it. We all dressed up as in different Stitch costumes for the 10 mile. In fact, my friend Justin sort of infused Stitch with Peter Pan and then again with Up, and then he was Stitch for the 10 mile. It was very fun. Very, very fun.
Doesn't make any sense. Those are completely different movies. Keep going.
Yep, that's fine. Just use your imagination and look at my pictures as well. But we also went to the Ohana character breakfast with Stitch and
nice.
Lilo. Have you done that one yet?
I have never.
I highly recommend it. It's $45, maybe $50 for breakfast.
It's on sale.
And it's a buffet, and you get character greeting. It's the best price deal in town.
I would love That's my favorite way to meet characters, actually, when I'm seated comfortably at a table and they come to me.
Yes, I don't have time to wait in line.
No, it's my absolute favorite.
Yeah, fair.
Nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. Speaking of Strange World, so on the course, I think it was for the 10 mile, we got the debut of Ethan Clade from Strange World, which makes, I believe, this the first appearance of an LGBTQ plus character in the Run Disney races.
Nice.
How cool is that?
That's very, very cool. Yeah.
I'm so interested in this because I also just happened to take the Run Disney post-race survey today that they sent you in the mail. And the very last question was, do you identify as a member of the LGBTQIA plus community? The last question. I know. What's going on there? Are they tracking us? What's going on?
Right. It should have just said, hi gay, ? And then you just, and then you either write hi back or what?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ooh, trapped you. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. Maybe there's more to come on this, or maybe they were just feeling out, like, did people resonate with Ethan Clade without asking that question overtly? Yeah. Who can say? But I don't know. Well done.
Maybe they're finally starting to realize who pays most of their bills, and now they're going to start recognizing us.
That part. One more recommendation for food-wise. We had a breakfast, or a brunch, I guess, at Summer House, the new restaurant in Disney Springs.
Ooh, okay.
Highly recommend. Delicious food, more than enough food. Everything was fantastic. The service was great. The establishment is beautiful. Go there if you have a chance. It's absolutely wonderful.
Will do. Summer House.
Summer House at Disney Springs. Well done. Let's see. I saw Happily Ever After for the first time in like 4 years. That was magical. I know. It has a place in my heart. I think it's my very favorite nighttime spectacular.
It's also the very first nighttime spectacular you and I ever experienced together.
It's true. Was that the first day we ever met in person?
It wasn't the first day, but it was the first trip that we'd met in person.
Yeah.
And then, I think like the next day or 2 days later or something, we made it a point to, And you watched it with me, my sister, my niece, nephew. And they were standing in our way, and we moved them.
We pushed them down. Absolutely. I stood on their shoulders, actually, so I could watch it.
that actually probably would have been possible.
It would have been fine. No one would have said a word. Let's see what else. Oh, and the last day, I love when this happens, and this is no shade to people I was with, because I had a wonderful time. I was with my very best Disney friends, but I had a random solo day in Magic Kingdom on the last day because my flight kept getting delayed. So I was like,
okay,
well, let me go to Magic Kingdom. Right. I had the best time. I don't usually love Magic Kingdom necessarily, but it was Medal Monday after the race. So I wanted to get pictures with my medal in the parks, and I got the Genie Plus pass, and I just did every single thing in the park. It was
nice.
I really loved the day. Met a bunch of characters. Went on what's that, Astral Orbiter? Have you been on this ride, Kale?
Listen,
absolutely don't go on it.
Listen, I went on it, and they said that the big person had to be in the back, which was me because I was taller. And I don't remember who was in it with me, but whoever it was sat down, and I thought my legs were going to die. Because they my legs, they're spidery long, and so I sit in the Astro Orbiter, and the thing is filled with my legs, it's just filled full of leg, and then I think it might have been Mark who looked down and was like, I have to sit on them, and I was like, absolutely no, you don't, and then I think it was horrible. Yeah, it's the worst.
But it's also the scariest ride in Magic Kingdom. I don't think Disney World. I think.
I'm terrified of mostly every ride, but I don't remember being scared. I remember being like, I'm in pain. I'm in physical pain.
Oh, fair enough. I went on it by myself, and so that was just me. And I, for a hot second, I was like, do I ask them to stop the ride? Because this is too scary for me.
I've only ever ridden it once, but that was your first time?
First time ever on that one. Yeah.
It's one of those that it's hard to find the entrance to.
Because you have to get in an elevator and go up. And
it's hard to,
It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing.
So anyway, so it was a wonderful trip, but I have to really give a shout out. So I got to meet one of our Tweedles, Christian, who is at C_Ross_23, a frequent contributor here on the podcast. We've been sort of tracking his running journey and his fitness journey over the last year, which has been incredible to watch. It was a pleasure to meet him. But just a little quick story. So Christian started his running journey this past November 2023 with he started with the Wine and Dine 2-course challenge, which means he did the 10K and a half marathon. Just his first races ever.
Right.
Started with that.
That's nice.
Well, so then, Kale, he signs up for Dopey right after that in January and completed the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, and the marathon. And then he just was at Springtime Surprise and he ran, I believe, the 10K and the 10 mile. So this is his first year of running and he's run
That's amazing.
Thousands of miles in his first year of running, and he is going to keep doing it. So recently, it was Christian's birthday. Happy birthday, Christian.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you for being a part of our family. He tried to sign up for Dopey in 2025, but didn't get a spot initially. But he was able to sign up through a charity. So he's been raising money on behalf of Give Kids the World to secure his spot in the Dopey Challenge in 2025. And so, Christian, for your birthday, and because we also love that charity, Gaze to the D is donating $100 towards your journey to get that Dopey slot in the 2025
the
Dopey
best
Challenge.
idea I've ever had.
I mean, yes, it was all Kale's idea.
You're welcome, Christian.
So I believe last time I checked, I think he is almost there, or he's
nice.
like he's going to get it. So congratulations, Christian! Happy birthday, and
happy
you're
birthday.
an inspiration to all
you
of us.
are.
So well done to you. All right,
I feel like we could end there.
I know, and that's all we have today, folks. So thanks for listening. But we do have Kale this week in Disney history. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Is there a quiz?
Of course, there's a quiz. Come on.
Okay. You used to not quiz me until I told you how much I hated this. And now it's
what's your question? I don't understand what the question is. Okay, Kale. 108 years ago.
All
ready?
Right.
On May 6th, 1916, this actress was born in Bridgeport, Connecticut. At the age of 19, she provided the voice to Disney's very first princess, Snow White. Do you know her name?
Oh, Adriana Castelletti.
You are correct. I am so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You know things.
That was in record time, too.
It was in record time, absolutely. There was no editing involved, everybody, in that.
Nope.
For the first time. So just a fun fact, for her work, Kale, she was paid $970 and was uncredited.
She was on sale.
For playing the role of Snow White. I mean, come on, Disney.
Yeah.
I mean, they know better than to do that now. But what a travesty. But her other two roles in Hollywood, she only did 3 notable roles in the movies. So the other 2 were in 1939 as the voice of Juliet during the Tin Man song, If I Only Had a Heart, in The Wizard of Oz. She was the one who was like,
my gosh.
Wherefore art thou, Romeo? That was her.
That is trivia beyond, like, that. Now that you've said it, I hear
Isn't that
it.
wild?
Like,
yeah.
yes, but I never would have. That's amazing.
Amazing. And then, Kale, it gets better. In 1946, she played a lounge singer at the bar that Jimmy Stewart prays in It's a Wonderful Life. You can see her in the background singing in It's a Wonderful Life. Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
Yeah. 3 movies that people watch over and over again. And she's in all 3 of them. 1 as Snow White, but then 2 as like bit players after she played Snow White. How crazy is that?
That makes me happy.
Yeah. I mean, it makes me sad that she wasn't in more, but she was in iconic movies. So, happy birthday, Adriana Castelletti. All right, Kale, are you feeling lucky for your second one?
Yep. I'm gonna roll.
Okay, this was only 21 years ago. So May 6th, 1993. The World Roller Hockey League rink opened in Walt Disney World, which was used by professional inline hockey leagues. Kale, how long did this establishment last?
4.
For what?
I don't know.
4.
I have no idea.
It lasted 1 year.
Oh, I was giving too much credit.
The rink and the league were around for 1 year, everybody.
Interesting.
Wow. Very interesting. Okay, so this sort of put me down the rabbit hole of Disney has been trying to make inline skating happen for a long time. They're trying to make it fetch. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I did some exploration. So in the early 2000s, Disney actually held inline skating marathons and half marathons, but discontinued them.
We've talked about this before.
We did briefly, a while ago. I can't remember why, but they discontinued it in 2007 due to safety concerns, obviously.
That's right.
I mean,
yes.
Come on. But also in 1989, Disney opened the Rock and Roller Dome in Pleasure Island, which is now Disney Springs, but it also closed after 1 year due to safety concerns.
One day we're going to find out that Disney Springs used to be Disney skating rings. And then
I mean, basically they tried to. They tried real hard.
Insane.
Yeah. So maybe 1 year they'll figure out how to make inline skating a thing, but not today.
Not today. Not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow either. All right. Well, that closes out this week in Disney history and about 1.5 hours of opening banter before we get into the news. Kale, are you ready?
Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm ready. News. Talking about news.
There it is.
Are you ready?
I'm always ready. I love the news.
For some news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Okay. Disneyland Paris, which was my first Disney park. Did you know this?
I did know that.
I say it every time that we mention Disneyland Paris.
I knew that too.
Makes me sound fancy, like I might eat mashed potatoes out of a martini glass.
Oh.
Disneyland Paris is set for a major revamp of its second park, currently known as Walt Disney Studios Park, which will be renamed Disney Adventure World.
Is this in response directly to Universal's New World opening up? I feel like it's similar vibes happening.
I think so, but here's the deal. It's also I've been to Walt Disney Studios Park as well in Paris, and I can tell you it's unlike anything you've ever seen, because when you walk in, first of all, I don't know what was going on. There was nobody in it the first day that I walked in. I was literally there were literally cast members like, "We're bored, come over here." I mean, not literally, but they were like waving you over. But it literally is these sort of industrial buildings that happen to have attractions in them, right?
Right, yeah.
And so you almost do feel out of place, like, oh, I've walked in through the back or something. Do you know what I mean? Like when you walk in. Yeah. And so I kind of think this is maybe a way to sort of spice it up, but also I very much think it is a response to Universal.
Yeah. I mean, all of the above, for sure.
Completely. This transformation marks a shift towards more immersive experiences, starting with the introduction of the World of Frozen, an area inspired by the popular Disney movie, Frozen. The park's expansion will nearly double its size, incorporating new themed areas alongside existing ones like Marvel Avengers Campus and Worlds of Pixar.
Interesting.
I live for those. That'll be fun, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff, but I mean, that is the case with Hollywood Studios and DCA. So, I mean, I think it's on par with those types of parks.
For sure. But I mean, just based off of my memory, keep in mind, this was like, at this point, this was 7-8 years ago now, I think. That in order from what I remember, this is essentially them tearing a park down and rebuilding.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it is a huge, huge overhaul.
Oh, yeah. So, she's a renovation girl.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Today, we are changing the story of Walt Disney Studios Park, evolving from how it's done sound stages to celebratory theaters and adventures that come to life in immersive worlds. These fully realized adventure worlds will become the focus of the park's new identity and appear as realms that guests discover as they navigate deeper within the park and are invited to participate in adventures inspired by our most beloved stories. Tom Fitzgerald, Walt Disney Imagineering Chief Storytelling Executive and Senior Creative Executive for Disneyland Paris, commented.
Interesting. I'm excited for all of this.
Same.
I've never been to Disneyland Paris. I will be going this July when I'm there. I'm very excited about that.
The merch is incredible.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it and where it is right now, and will it be open when I'm there. I'm curious why they didn't do more faster knowing that the Olympics are this year. Like why they didn't open a lot of this stuff before the Olympics happened to get that crowd in there, because there's going to be people from all over the world visiting Paris, and this is the biggest opportunity to get people to go to Disneyland Paris.
No, I completely agree. I think that, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's one of those things where they think that it being the in its current state will somehow, because you know how when they announce a ride is changing, we all rush in line to get one last look at it, right? And so I mean maybe that's sort of their MO there, but I think that this is going to be great. I thoroughly enjoyed Walt Disney Studios Park, but I will tell you, compared to Hollywood Studios, which is the only other, I guess, sister or brother park to this that I've ever visited, it just sort of seems a little womp womp. But it's not bad. It's super fun. I rode Ratatouille there for the first time. But I think that this is going to be incredible.
It'll be nice to see, because Disneyland Paris is notoriously sort of the least attended Disney property in the world, and I imagine this will put them in the running now of like a valid Disney park. No offense, like I don't mean to say that it's not currently, but it's sort of like lowest on.
No, for sure. I mean, I remember walking in Disneyland Paris and thinking it was going to be wall-to-wall people, and then was like, oh no, this is actually, I mean, even though it was sort of a busy park, but then I remember walking into Walt Disney Studios Park and being like, is it closed? Like, did I buy a ticket for a day it's closed? It's still fun. But I think this will be game-changing for it, for sure.
Yeah, and stay tuned for, I'm sure, announcement after announcement when it comes to Disneyland Paris, because
But wait, there's more.
Yes. There's more indeed. So a few exciting specials are coming to Disney Plus in the next few months, Kale. The first is, and boy, if I'm not going to cry getting through this story.
I know.
The first is one called Jim Henson Idea Man, which will be, or is, directed by Ron Howard. Now, this documentary will explore the life of course, Disney legend Jim Henson. Henson, of course, is responsible for creating some of the most beloved characters in TV and cinematic history, including, but not limited to, Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Big Bird, Cookie Monster, Bert and Ernie, the characters in Dark Crystal, The Labyrinth. I mean, it's impossible to list all of the characters and stories and moments that he has created in one new segment, so I won't even try. But the doc will take a look at never-before-seen home movies, photographs, drawings, diary entries, and interviews with friends, family, and coworkers. And this promises to be the closest look at Jim Henson's life and career to date. It should be noted that it was created with the full blessing and participation from Henson's family, which they don't usually do. So this is a very exciting opportunity.
Right.
Jim Henson Idea Man will debut on Disney Plus this May 31st. And next up, we also have National Geographic has just released a special that will move to Disney Plus in July called Epcot Becoming Inside the Transformation. Now, this documentary will explore how Epcot has transformed over the years through the lenses of technology, nature, and music. You'll get a look at how Disney teams have strived to keep Epcot relevant for guests today and how they can keep it relevant for future guests. This special will be available, as I said, on Disney Plus and Hulu starting on July 19th. And starting on June 14th, you can head over to National Geographic's YouTube channel for additional content, including behind-the-scenes coverage of fan-favorite Epcot offerings like their unique food and beverages and Epcot festivals.
Nice.
Pretty exciting stuff. I have to say, of the two, boy, Jim Henson Idea.
Hands down. Come on.
Yeah, there's a preview out there already circling on YouTube and wherever, and boy, how I sobbed just watching the preview. Yeah. Man alive. What a story.
Ooh. No, I feel like, I mean, I remember, like truly, do you remember when they first released the trailer for Howard? Which I understand how Howard Ashman was, we connected to him for something vastly different, right?
Sure.
But also, I mean, it definitely gives the same vibe and feeling.
I mean, two massively creative people tragically died at a horrifically young age. I mean, it's just, the parallels are definitely there. So you're not wrong in making the comparison. But I can't wait. And I'm interested to see, obviously, the National Geographic one. I was confused why National Geographic is doing it, it was almost like Disney goes, hey, you know who we should do a story on? Us. We should do a story on us. But go on, Disney.
Yeah, we do that sometimes, though.
We sure do. Expose on Gays Do the D is coming up next.
Patrick.
Yes, Kale.
Are you ready for a new segment?
A new segment, you say?
Yes.
What? Tell us all about it.
Well, it's called Hot Takes.
Oh my God, don't ever do that again.
Was it awful?
Disney Hot Takes.
Yes, that's our new segment. Hot Takes.
We just say it before every hot take.
That's every time. Every time. It's not a hot take if you don't say. I mean, it's not a hot take.
Oh
if
my
you don't
stars.
Say it. So yeah.
Okay. So what is this hot take segment that we're doing? I can't do that anymore.
So this is more. Yeah. So we're gonna. So this segment of hot takes. It's gonna be. It's more of a discussion segment.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
We've agreed that instead of us just naming about, it's so different than a Fab Five. Instead of us sort of naming off things one another and then briefly discussing them, we're actually going to name three and then discuss them thoroughly. Because if there's one thing you and I do best, it's talk.
It's true. We may have to debate some things because these are going to be hot takes from us in regards to Disney, in that maybe these are some strong opinions. They don't have to be controversial opinions. Maybe they will be to some people, but they're things that have been on our minds that we're like, you know what? I'm going to speak my truth about this once and for all.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm excited about this. I think it's going to have some good discussion.
It's all Disney territory, right? We can do
anything,
parks, movies, music, anything.
Yeah. I will, full disclosure, I only did parks because I just got back from the parks and it's really fresh on my mind. And
so this is hilarious. I figured that yours were parks.
Yeah.
And so I tried not to, but one of mine was like undeniable. But I figured you coming back from a park actually that most of yours were going to be parks. And
okay.
So
what are the odds that will be a crossover? What do you think? I mean, like one in a billion, but you never know.
Well, we always say that,
it's true.
Like, I bet mine are totally different, and then you and I always have like one or two.
There tends to be one or two. Yeah. I'm more interested in, are we going to agree with each other's hot takes?
I think we will. We typically do. There's very little that you and I don't agree on when it comes to Disney.
It's true. There are some things, though, I think that you and I differ on, but I'm very interested. I think you'll finally get some feedback from our tweedles after this episode.
Nice.
And we have not, full disclosure, have not been privy to each other's hot takes.
We have not.
Fresh
we have not talked about them at all. Yes.
I'm excited. Okay.
The only thing we've talked about this week is trash about the other co-hosts.
Correct. True story.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, do you want to kick us off or do you want me to? I typically always go first, but you go first.
Okay, I can go first.
Okay.
I have a positive and two slightly negatives. Do you want which one what do you want? A positive or a negative? And if you choose positive, it's the only one you're going to get from me.
Okay, then let's do negative and then positive and then negative.
Okay, we're going to do negative.
Okay.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to swing big right now.
Okay.
Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Epcot is over for me right now.
Okay, you're right. We're not going to agree. This is hysterical. I'm actually shook. So give me a why.
I will give you an ellipses for now. For now,
sure,
it's over for me right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So lately, I truly spend the least amount of time in Epcot right now. On my last 3 or 4 trips, I feel like it's been not the low light, but just not on my radar necessarily for Epcot. Although, ironically, because I just got back from a race weekend, you are in Epcot most of the time for the race weekends. So I don't know, maybe that has something to do with why I don't go very often. But I'm not excited about Epcot right now.
Interesting.
I mean, yes, we have Mission Breakout, right? And this is maybe the one thing that saves Epcot for me as a park, to go there just to do Mission Breakout. But now that this is privileged, but I've done it a few times, I don't really miss it if I'm not going to be on Mission Breakout. It's not like, oh no, it's not a trip unless I did this. The World Showcase needs a facelift so badly. I don't know. The Odyssey, they can't decide what it wants to be. Like, it keeps changing. I never know what's going to be in there, and not in a good way. I'm just like, meow, this is what's in here right now. And when are we getting a new Spaceship Earth remake? I mean, it's all very... The Journey of Water, I think, is lovely. Do it. But honestly, it didn't knock my socks off when I went there.
I have to agree. I think we even talked about this, how I was fully prepared to be blown away by Journey of Water. And then it was sort of like, oh, this is...
Yeah.
like,
and even I can't think of one restaurant that I'm like, you have to go to this restaurant.
Because there's
it's
not
a Disney
any.
trip.
Yeah, there's
well,
not any.
Yeah, I mean, that's... You won't... Yeah, that's a no-brainer for you. But for me, I love food, and there are some places within the Disney parks that I do like to go to, but within Epcot, I really don't. There's nothing that I'm like, I have to get this, otherwise it's not a trip. So
Epcot is my favorite part, and
I know.
Well, no, but honestly, there's nothing that you're saying that I can argue with, because I like everything. Like, first of all, I only really go during a festival, because if I'm gonna go and spend the full day at Epcot, I want to eat a lot. I want to have some nice beverages, right?
Sure.
And that's sort of my favorite thing to do. I will absolutely tell you that I do think that World Showcase needs a facelift.
100%. My goodness.
I kind of, yes. I also don't like that there's been things that they've announced 10 years ago that still have not. I mean, it seems like we've been talking about Spaceship Earth since like 2016, 2017.
Since we started the podcast.
Like, yes. Yeah. and then also I feel like there was for so long, so much was covered in scaffolding, right? That you had this image in your head that you were going to walk in one day and it was just going to be this like beautiful, brilliant. And then they took the scaffolding down and you're like, same old Epcot, you just get a little wet now.
Yeah.
And then, do you know what I mean? No, I will agree with you completely. I think that I also think that they do a lot of focus on like really, really big things as opposed to trying to fix little things. So for example, Guardians of the Galaxy, right? I love it. It's probably my favorite ride at a Disney park now, but I feel like that got so much attention when in reality there's a bunch of other stuff that could have used just a fresh coat of paint.
And I don't even associate Guardians of the Galaxy with Epcot. It's almost its own thing that you could have put it in any park and it would have done well in any of the parks.
Right. It would make more sense in Hollywood Studio, but
sure. But I love the idea of Epcot. I just don't think that it's that anymore. I don't like it used to be in my head just a really cohesive world that everything sort of really connected to all of the different sections of Epcot, and now it just feels very disjointed to me. It feels very old school and a little bit new, but not new enough. And I hope that it'll get better, but I don't see it happening anytime soon.
No, I get it. Even though it never feels like a Disney trip to me if I don't go to Epcot, and it'll always be my favorite park. There's nothing that you're saying that I don't agree with. And so
now I will say, don't let this deter you, all of you listeners out there who have never been to Epcot,
wants you to
not
stay
go
away. Steer clear.
I really do. This is clearly coming from someone who's been on 20 plus trips to Disney World, right? And so that's just my opinion as a frequent attendee of Disney World. So there you have it. That's my hot take.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.
Did it. Okay. Are you ready for my first one?
I am. I'm nervous now.
Yeah, this is going to be polarizing.
Ooh.
Pirates of the Caribbean is the best Disney franchise.
Wow. Out of all the Disney franchises, Pirates of the Caribbean.
I
really?
think it's the best one. I do. Yeah.
So you're maybe I didn't know this, but are you really that big of a fan of the movies as well?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
I mean, I guess that is
absolutely.
the franchise, but
yeah.
Because I'm thinking the whole like package of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I would say, all the films. I would even include the ride in there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When I say the full package.
I think Pirates of the Caribbean is I think it is the best Disney franchise. Let me explain why.
Please do.
I think that it's sort of the only one that is cohesively not full of plot holes. Right? I think we have a ride that sort of matches the first film, and then the first film. So we have the ride, which is sort of a prequel, and then we have Curse of the Black Pearl. Then we have Dead Man's Chest. Then we have At World's End.
Sure.
Right? On Stranger Tides. Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Wow.
Yeah. It is a full cohesive story.
Fair enough. I don't disagree that these movies aren't wonderful, and they are, I mean, inarguably the most successful movie franchise that Disney has done based on a ride or a live action anything, really. And so I can't, deny any of that. They're just not my favorite movies, but I'm not here to yuck your yum.
Absolutely love them.
Yeah.
So it's, as a kid, I was obsessed with like two things: mermaids and pirates.
Sure,
which is
absolutely.
like, I loved pirates, and so I even one day I have this character in my head that I'm going to write a novel about, and he's a gay pirate, and he's Captain Lightning Loafers.
Will you write it soon so I can play it?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Like, you wouldn't be the first mate. Like,
wow. I'm no one's first mate, let's be clear.
Stop. Well, that's my hot take.
You know what? That is a hot take. I did not really... I knew that you loved Pirates. I know it's your favorite ride.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that you loved the franchise so much.
Let me tell you, it's really, really weird because you and I, do you remember like randomly in a text message conversation this week, you and I were talking about the show Once Upon a Time? Mm-hmm. I know this has nothing to do with, but I relate that mostly because like even though we both have agreed that the show at some point in time kind of went off the rails a little bit, right?
Episode two.
Yeah, you're right. For sure. But I remember it was a weird thing that me and my mom would do, right? So I would leave my apartment because it came on every Sunday, and I would go and pick up a pizza and take it to her house, and we'd watch once. It happened every Sunday until like season 6, I think, until it switched to Friday nights. We did this every single Sunday. But I also weirdly remember my mom, and it might not have even been because of Pirates, it might have been because of Johnny Depp, but my mom also really loved the Pirates movies, which I think I was in high school, maybe when the first one came out or something. But I kind of relate it to that too. I don't know why, because I remember like her really liking it, my sister really liking it, and it seemed like it was this like family thing of like we couldn't wait for the next one to come out. But I love everything about the Pirates ride, dude. I love the murky smell. It makes me feel like I am right in there.
Yeah. I did make sure to go on the ride when I was in Magic Kingdom. It's a wonderful ride. Yeah, and you've got me thinking. I don't know what my favorite franchise is, which is, I guess maybe it's Spider-Man. Although maybe that's a cheat because it's technically Sony and Disney.
It's definitely a cheat. It's definitely a cheat.
But okay, great, hot take. Well done.
Hot take.
All right, on to number 2 for me. I'm going to go positive on this one. I would say, for my money, I guess speaking of more parks, DCA, I'm sorry you can't really contribute to this conversation, but DCA in California, and I will say, maybe I'll tack this on too, and then also Hollywood Studios and Walt Disney World, for me, far surpass all of the other domestic parks within Disneyland and Walt Disney World, with DCA way outpacing Hollywood Studios. Is that a hot take?
I would say that's a hot take.
Thank you so much. But because Epcot's your favorite one, but
you think so? Hold on. Let me. So you think that Hollywood Studios takes the cake as far as even Disney World parks?
Hollywood Studios in Disney World is the best park in Disney World. DCA is the best
better
park
than all of them in the U.S.
domestically. Yeah,
interesting.
In my opinion,
I wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't hardcore disagree or fight you on that one. I would honestly say after about a half day at Hollywood Studios, I'm good to go.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. Like I love Galaxy's Edge. I love. But it's not some. I don't know why. There's some like vibe. Like I do enjoy it. But there's something about like after I've been there for like 3 or 4 hours, it's sort of like, all right, let's find the last thing we want to do and go. But
I'm the opposite. I could spend all day in either park. I mean, so
nice.
Let me unpack. So you've truly got something in both these parks for all ages, right? When it comes to attractions,
very, very fair. Yeah.
When it comes to food options, entertainment, and just even accessibility into the parks is I think far greater than all the other parks. The theming of Avengers Campus in DCA, Cars Land, San Francisco are outstanding. standing theming in the parks. They're absolutely beautiful. You've of course got Galaxy's Edge and Hollywood Studios, which clearly also should have been a DCA, but footprint, they couldn't do it.
Sure.
The thrill rides, though, so we're talking about adults, the thrill rides in both parks are superior to most of the other rides, I feel like, in the other parks. Tower of Terror and or Mission Breakout, Rock and Roller Coaster, I know you do, Incredicoaster, Web Slingers, Rise of the Resistance, Radiator Springs. I mean, they're incredible attractions. And then even when you go to the kids' rides, Little Mermaid is in DCA. Anything in the Pixar area, Toy Story Land. I mean, there's just something for everybody, I think, when it comes to DCA and Hollywood Studios, including the shows, anything in Avengers Campus, the Frozen Sing-Along, Beauty and the Beast, although Beauty and the Beast needs to go, Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. I just think there's so much to do. There's something for everybody.
Right.
It's just great.
Yeah, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, that typically what I do, so it's hard for me typically to be at Animal Kingdom for a full day because it's so unbelievably hot, right?
Same.
And so typically what I will do is do like a morning at Hollywood Studio and then that evening. So I split that park into 2 days. Like if me and the boys go, typically that's what we do. And then a lot of times if we go to Hollywood Studio, it's the night that we drive in and then we go. And so I guess, yeah, like if I went with a full plan, I guess a full day could fill up probably pretty quickly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would say that's an interesting hot take. I would say that's, yeah, I don't think it's, I don't like hardcore disagree with you. But yeah.
Right, because I'm correct. That's why.
Right. All right, and that was Patrick's
hot take.
Very good. Okay, so my next one is I know you're going to agree with this one because we've talked about it before, but I feel like it's not said enough. And
you don't know me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
Mother Gothel never gets her just due.
Okay, unpack that a little bit more.
We never, hardly ever see her in the parks, right?
Okay, so you mean like she's not celebrated enough?
She is not celebrated enough because I truly
not in the
think
movie necessarily.
No. Oh no. Sorry. Oh, I probably should have put that. Yeah, she's not as far as Disney media and the parks goes.
Yeah.
But I know that you and I actually called it last time, like a couple years ago when they were doing the Oogie Boogie Bash, that how great of a face character she would be because of her interactions and the amount of character a person could put into it. And then the next year, they randomly had her, but you never see her anywhere else. And I truly think she is probably the best Disney villain over the past 15 years.
Ooh, that's a big swing. I don't know if I'm inclined to say yes.
Name them.
Don't do the name them.
Name them.
If you watch Real Housewives, you're cracking up right now. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, to be put on a spot, I don't know. But fair enough. Yeah, I would love to see her. Why she's not in the parks roaming around and not just in Halloween? I don't understand because she would be mauled by all the gays. Maybe that's why.
I would follow her around the whole day. I would get thrown out.
Nonstop.
For sure.
Yeah.
I would be like, insult me. Like,
I wonder if it's because, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
She is maybe the least recognizable on the street character. She doesn't have like an opulent costume. She doesn't have massive characteristics necessarily.
No,
I wonder if that's part of it.
Yeah, she would just look like a mom going to the Renaissance Festival.
Right. She'd be like, are you wearing a Snuggie? Like, what are you wearing right now?
Right. I know this humidity, girl. but no, yeah, I get it. But I do think that she's so underrepresented and under-celebrated. I think that she is. I mean, Donna Murphy. This is a Donna Murphy stan podcast.
Slide into her Donna Murphy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we love her so much, and that is my Mother Gothel hot take.
Can I tack onto yours just a scotch
Absolutely.
More? Rapunzel in general as a movie, Tangled, doesn't get. But the fact, the injustice of turning it into a bathroom. Haunts me, irks me
agree.
Every time. Because I'm thinking, well, yeah, they could just put her, because they have Rapunzel. No, where are they going to put her in front of a bathroom? No, they're not going to do that.
No, you're absolutely correct.
They painted themselves in a corner.
They did. And I get that, Yeah, that sucks. But you and I've talked about this a lot. How we do also think that Tangled is underrepresented in the parks as well.
Very
and
much.
I will. That's the hill I'll die on.
Yeah, I mean, it is part of the fantasy fair at Magic Kingdom, and it does have a bathroom, and it does have a float. But for what a wonderful movie that is, not enough.
I know.
Not enough. Okay.
But yes,
well
Mother
done.
Gothel for the win. Hot.
I'm with you.
Take.
That was a double hot take.
Yes.
I liked it. Okay. All right. Our last hot takes. Are you ready?
Yes.
This one, you're going to laugh at me, but hear me out on this
Okay.
one. I really believe, and I'm going to fight for this, that
Okay.
Disney needs to lean harder into their vegan and non-alcoholic drink offerings within the parks. Pause. There was like a 5-minute pause there, everybody.
Yeah. Hoy.
Okay.
I want to be supportive to you as a friend.
I know,
but-
I know. Hear me out. Okay, so there is a slow uprise, right, in vegetarian or vegan options and people who are celebrating being those, and a big, I think, uprising in a lot of people who are just discontinuing drinking, or like
that one I will support. The house down boots. Yes.
Myself, I'm even getting like sober curious. I'm not like stopping drinking or whatever, but there are times where I'm like, I'm not into it right now.
There's been like 6 hot takes in the past 4 seconds
for non-alcoholic drinks. And this past run weekend, like nowadays when I'm going to have a long run, I don't want to drink a day or two before. It just,
for sure.
I feel gross.
Yeah.
And when I'm in the parks, I want something other than water or Sprite, right? And
sure. I've always thought. Yeah, I've been to the parks before with people who are sober, and that's been a consistent comment that they've said. Like mocktail, like specifically during like Epcot festivals, if there were like mocktails or
And they have them, but they're not. Disney they need to push the gas pedal on these options, because I mean, I feel like if they did, right, they would truly have a corner on some theme park options that people would visit them for.
Oh, for sure.
Were drinking non-alcoholic and or eating vegetarian or vegan. If they really just leaned into it, they could have a corner in the market there.
I will completely agree with that.
Right. So, like I said, like I had a couple of days during actually half the trip, I think I wasn't drinking anything at all. And though I could, like I said, though I could find these drinks and these meals, they were, I guess, very few really had me. Right?
No, for sure.
Some places lean in slightly, but not nearly enough. I feel like I want the spectacle. If I'm going to drink NA and want something more than a Coke or a water, I'm happy to pay $10, $11, $15 for
for sure,
a non-alcoholic version of something fun on the menu. But like more often than not, it's just like Powerade with some soda water mixed into it.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Like, give me the pizzazz. We shouldn't. I'm not sober, and a lot of people are, but should be given realistic options when it comes. No,
I completely agree. I mean, even people who aren't sober, I can say that me and the boys, we like to partake in an alcoholic beverage when we go, but typically the day before we leave, we know that we have a long drive back, and so there is no alcohol consumption. But I mean, we would like you said, if it's a nice beverage and it's refreshing, it's hot out, we would pay $10 for it. You know what I mean?
And it almost feels like a lot of places, and Disney included in some places, almost like shuns you if you aren't drinking alcohol. Like, these options are hidden or on the bottom of the list, or you have to ask your waiter for them. If you go to Trader Sam's, if you aren't drinking something with alcohol, you don't get any special show. You don't get any of the magic. At Oga's, at least in Walt Disney World, I don't really know much about their NA drinks in Disneyland, but if you're not drinking alcohol, the drinks are really, they're not great. There's nothing special about them.
Sure.
You're almost like ostracized unless you're drinking alcohol at one of the parks. So that's my hot take. I feel like Disney needs to lean in heavier and really celebrate their options for people who are sober or just aren't drinking that day.
And that's
my hot take.
I think that's a good hot take. There was a lot of thought put into that one.
Thank you. I mean, it really hit me this past trip when I wasn't drinking, of like, there's not much for, like, I want to have a special drink, but there's not much here.
Yeah, for sure. I totally get that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So it's my last hot take.
Give it to me.
To round us out. And I think that this one is the perfect way to end it. And I know you're going to agree with it.
Okay, fair.
The best Disney park moment in history is the first line of Happily Ever After, ready to begin, let the wonder take hold.
Ready to begin.
It, let me tell you, chills up my whole body every single time, no matter how many times I see it.
I almost think that's not even a hot take. It's just a correct take.
It's a correct take.
Correct takes. No, yeah.
It is, but I would say there's no, I love walking in Magic Kingdom and see, like when I see the castle every time for the first time, there's that sort of my heart skips a beat, right? But it's nothing like that, the intro to Happily Ever After, the song and the lights and it's my absolute favorite.
It's so wonderful. Like I said, I finally got to see it again for the first time, and I was just like gobsmacked the entire time. It was so good. It's
good.
It's perfect, and their voices together are magical.
I know. How about not us as a public bullying Disney into going back to that show?
What do you mean? It's back.
That's what happened. No, I know. That's how we got it back. That's
it's like. Did you not hear anything I said for the past 2 hours?
What we did. It's like what we did with Sonic the Hedgehog. We bullied the studio into changing his look, and as a public, we said no. Give us back Happily Ever After.
I don't even remember the 50th anniversary show anymore. That's how much I hated it.
No, same. I remember.
Hot take.
I remember when they. Do you remember when they showed it live? It was during COVID, right? When they showed it live on. They showed it, or maybe it was 2021, 2022, where they showed it live on Disney Plus.
After, you mean?
Yes. No, the 50th anniversary. What was it called?
Oh, I don't.
Enchantment, or
well, it didn't happen until the 50th. It was 2022.
Yeah, it had to be 2022. But I remember watching it. They did it live. It was either on YouTube or Disney Plus or something. And I remember even then being like, maybe it's better in person. but it never really seemed. It was not Happily Ever After. And so we all came together and bullied them into changing it back. We did. We won.
We did. We hot took them.
We hot took them. This was a fun segment.
It was a fun segment, except for your last one. I feel like you owe us a hot take because that wasn't a hot take to me.
Okay. All right. Do your magic to clip something. I'll come up with something last second.
10 hours later.
All right. This is my hot take. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
This is. I actually can't believe this wasn't on the list. It might have been out of fear. If they completely got rid of Figment altogether, I would be very happy.
See, now you're just being mean.
I'm not.
Now you're just being a bully.
I am not. I promise you, I'm not saying that to hurt your feelings. I have never connected with him.
Fair. I get it. I understand. That's fair. I think when people. I guess Figment is one of the more polarizing Parks characters because he's just a Parks character, so you don't ever really get much of. Well,
not for long. Remember, we reported over a year ago that a film was in the works. But
we'll see if that happens.
Little information now.
Yeah, I know it's true. I did get to meet Figment on this last trip, and it's a really cool costume character.
I would absolutely tell him to leave me alone.
Wow. You're not alone. I know quite a few people who are like, okay.
I do not. Every time I say this to a person, they do exactly what you just did. Why do you hate me?
I don't feel seen at all.
Right. No, I don't know why. It just never, and that ride, it is the most annoying thing in the whole world. It's like what Small World is to most people. That's that song to me. Like,
totally understandable. I absolutely get it. I have to admit, I totally get it. I just happen to not agree, and I have a different experience with it. I do feel that way about Orange Bird. I think we can get rid of Orange Bird. Stop it. I know it's history and nostalgia, but
it's sort of. I know. Okay. We'll end it on an agreement.
We'll end it on some hateful words.
Yes.
We're getting rid of Orange Bird.
By Orange Bird. And
maybe even Spike. Maybe even Spike the Bumblebee.
Definitely Spike the Bumblebee.
I mean, I don't know. Meh.
No,
get a better mascot.
He's gone. And those are our hot takes.
Oh, boy.
I wish...
I wish that we had never done that.
Yeah.
No, I want to take it back. And I can edit this out, but I mean, what are we going to do with our lives if we do that?
What happens
I'm
now?
excited. I'm excited for our Tweedles to come at us.
Same.
Or agree with us.
I will say, even though I never get listener feedback to my episodes, there's somebody, there's always like a 21-year-old who's been to the parks 3 times in their whole life who decides to drag me on Instagram and my DMs. So, yeah.
Fair. Mm-hmm. Fair enough. So if you want to drag Kale for his hot takes and agree with me on my hot takes, you can do so by sliding into our Donna Murphys. That's our DM.
Yes.
At GDTD Podcast, or leave us those voice memos or long-winded but lovely emails, as you all know.
Yes.
To info@gaystothed.com.
Hot take.
I can't. I'm over the hot takes now.
Hey, Patrick.
Quick D. Ooh. I can't stop doing it now.
Quick D.
I'm stuck.
I'm going to do it all night.
Oh, I'm just going to go take a shower when we're done recording.
What?
I said I'm going to go take a shower when we're done recording. I thought it was a thing you and I were doing now. It's fine that it's not.
I love doing that voice to things that don't make sense to doing it, of like, oh, I'm going to eat some
avocado
chips.
toast.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I can't wait to put my shoes on. Like,
Right. Hi, Becca.
Just circling back.
Yeah.
I hope this email finds you well.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was a quick D, everybody. No. we do have a quick D from one of our Patreon family members. At Jedi Trousers. Are you
the best?
Love him. Are you ready for his quick D question for us, Kale?
I'm ready.
Okay. It's a little bit of a thinker.
I'm ready.
Ooh,
Okay.
Quick D question. Jedi Trousers. Oh, that actually works though. Jedi Trousers.
Jedi trousers.
Okay.
Delirious.
Juan asks us, Villain's Land for Magic Kingdom gets announced at D23. This is a whole, like,
Love.
We're
Okay,
supposing
yeah.
a world.
Oh, he's giving he said read
Picture it.
read the paragraph and answer all the questions.
That's right.
Yeah.
Picture it. Villain's Land for Magic Kingdom gets announced at D23. One of the attractions is going to be a dinner show. My question is, who are we seeing? What are they doing? And what are we eating? Interesting.
The Mother Gothel Cabaret.
Ooh, okay.
That's the dinner show.
She's the MG of the show.
She's the absolutely the Mother Gothel Cabaret. Oh, I love.
I wonder if it's a mix of is it Mother Gothel and Hades from Hercules?
I'm gonna say
No. Yes and
okay. Okay, you ready?
yeah.
Let's say that the restaurant is called Hades Kitchen.
Ooh.
Hot as Hades. Hot as Hades. Okay, that's the name of the restaurant.
Great.
All right.
Hot as Hades.
And then it's all seafood and it's all Ursula nautical themed.
Oh wow! So you're all over the map now. Okay, great.
I'm going. Yep. We're doing Once Upon a Time here.
Oh no!
This is yeah. But then Mother Gothel is like the lounge, like the cabaret, like she's the entertainment.
Okay.
And then there's a bar in the back, Gaston's Brewery.
I can see Mother Gothel being like the lounge singer in the back, just like, and like maybe like one-liners to people.
The minute you walked in the joint.
I don't know if that's the song that she would use.
It's not. It's definitely not. To 6-year-old Johnny.
No.
But no. Okay, well, you have to help me a little.
I'm trying. I just don't like this idea.
Oh, why?
I'm just kidding.
Dive into that.
I like it. I like it to be more. I like a theme to have cohesion to it, and so
okay, alrighty. So the cohesiveness of them all coming together and be like, let's start a business. Our last crap didn't work out for us.
Oh, I like.
You
this.
don't believe that?
I like this. It's like
that was what I was saying.
Secondhand villains or something like that.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Ooh. Secondhand
So it's a big cabaret show.
I love.
With the villains, obviously.
Yes.
And they all get their musical number.
Okay. I think they all get their musical number, and then they get, similar to the Sanderson sisters, I Put a Spell on You. They also get one that's similar, like,
And maybe every course then is designed for the section of the show, right? So maybe if Ursula kicks off the show, it's like a seafood appetizers or something. And so then
she gets Poor Unfortunate Souls, and also what other song though? All About That Bass. and then Mother Gothel will get
Mother Knows Best.
Mother Knows Best, and then also Style by Taylor Swift.
Okay. And the food, I mean, I know it's Rapunzel saying, but it's all like, it's like a skillet of, like a buffet. It's a buffet skillet
my gosh,
situation.
Yes. It's a buffet skillet. What did we say? Ursula's was seafood, like a seafood
appetizer,
sort of,
like a tower of.
All right, perfect. Okay. And then we get Gaston, who will sing Gaston from the Broadway show. Okay. And then his will be a beer flight. Clearly.
Ooh, okay. Right? It's like an in-between meal, like a palate cleanser.
A palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe keep
going. I'm feeling
but maybe there's got to be eggs of some kind too. Like a I don't know. I'm trying to think. What are eggs? What are eggs?
A croque monsieur. A croque madame.
What are
a croque
eggs?
madame has what are eggs?
Hey Siri, what eggs are?
Because it's French. It's French, right?
Sure.
And so okay. So then his song, so Gaston, and then he will also sing Jealous by Nick Jonas.
I was going to sing maybe Watermelon Sugar instead.
Oh, better. Legit better.
Can you imagine?
Okay. I can,
and it's great. Watermelon Sugar. Okay, and then who's ending our show?
Oh, I think we've covered all of them with songs.
Who's a desserty villain?
Oh, okay.
Someone's screaming at us right now. Clearly.
Dr. Facilier and its beignets.
Dr. Facilier is closing out the show.
Yeah. Could you imagine? And then, okay, and so let's say, so he does Friends on the Other Side.
Yep.
And then what's his like House of the Rising Sun? Is that too on the nose?
Yes.
Okay.
But I like it. I like it. I'm into it.
Or, ooh, you know what? What about Sweet Dreams?
That's actually kind of cute. I like that.
Yeah, I love.
And then but they all come in at the end of it, and they finish off the show.
Yes,
I like this.
And then Mother Gothel, she death drops.
And they all literally death drop.
All death drop. Yeah,
off a cliff.
All of them. They should hire us to do this.
I was gonna say, wait, did all these people fall off of something to die? But no, Ursula was stabbed. So never mind.
Yeah, she was stabbed. She was shish kebabbed.
But I'm into the death drop at the end of the, end of the show, and then curtains. That's what we have.
And curtains.
Well,
and
curtains, Jedi trousers. Ooh.
Thanks so much for writing in to little us. We loved reading it. Thank you so much for your quick tea.
That will do it for this episode of Gays Do the D. Thanks for listening. To become a patron of the podcast, visit our website at gaysdothed.com/donate. For a donation of any amount, you can receive exclusive Gays Do the D content and help us continue to bring you the very best Disney news and discussions. Continue the conversation after this episode on Instagram and Twitter at GDTD Podcast. Submit your questions or show ideas to info@gaysdothed.com. Have a great week, everybody. See you real soon.
Do you need more attention